Look, we've all had moments where logic takes a back seat to sheer, unfiltered horniness. This is mine. It was during my college days, a time when bad decisions were practically part of the curriculum. I had been texting this girl, Sarah, for weeks, flirty, borderline sinful messages. We hadn't sealed the deal yet, but the tension was at an all-time high. One night, she texts me, "I'm home alone. You should come over." Now, this was not a casual invitation. This was a summon, a once-in-a-lifetime golden ticket. There was just one problem. I was at a family dinner, trapped between my aunt's questionable meatloaf and my dad rambling about tax deductions. But the hormones? They didn't care. I made up some half-baked excuse about a group project emergency, grabbed my keys, and bolted. There was just one more obstacle. I didn't have a car. Mine was in the shop, and borrowing my dad's wasn't an option. So what did I do? I ran. That's right. A full, sprinting, Olympic-level dash through the neighborhood. It was about 2 miles to her place, and I covered it like my life depended on it. Sweat poured down my back. My lungs burned, but the mission kept me going. By the time I got to her doorstep, I looked like I had just escaped a war zone, panting, drenched, and absolutely destroyed. She opened the door, took one look at me, and burst out laughing. "Did you run here?" I couldn't even lie. I just nodded between gasps for air. She smirked, pulled me inside, and let's just say, I earned my reward. Worth every damn step. 3. The elevator incident. It was a regular Wednesday at the office. Dull meetings, endless emails, the usual grind. But the only thing on my mind that day, Ava. Ava was the kind of woman who could make a man forget his own priorities. Sharp, confident, and absolutely stunning. We'd been playing a dangerous game for weeks. Subtle glances, accidental touches, lingering eye contact that lasted just a little too long. We both knew where this was headed, but neither of us had made the first move. Until that afternoon. I was at my desk when my phone buzzed. It was a message from Ava. "Meet me in the elevator. Now, don't ask questions." My heart nearly stopped. I didn't hesitate. I got up, trying to act casual as I made my way across the office. The second I stepped into the empty elevator, she followed right after me. The door slid shut. Before I could say a word, she reached past me and slammed the emergency stop button. The elevator jerked to a halt, and then she turned to me, a wicked smirk on her lips. And then, chaos. Hands, lips, heat. The kind of pent-up energy that only builds after weeks of teasing. It was reckless, and we both knew it. But in that moment, neither of us cared. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I registered the reality of the situation. We were in an office building, surrounded by coworkers, with security cameras everywhere. But Ava didn't care, and neither did I. Then my phone vibrated in my pocket. Building security. Is everything okay? We noticed an emergency stop on elevator 2. Panic shot through me. I grabbed Ava's waist, pulling her back just enough to catch my breath. Her eyes were wild with amusement, completely unbothered. "We have to start it again," I whispered, trying to sound like I had any control left. She bit her lip, obviously enjoying my sudden desperation. "Fine," she said, pressing the button to resume the elevator. The doors opened, and standing there, arms crossed, was a security guard. I coughed, straightening my tie, praying I didn't look as guilty as I felt. "Got stuck for a second," I said. The guard narrowed his eyes, but Ava just walked past him like she owned the place. As she passed me, she whispered, "Next time, no interruptions." I barely survived the rest of the workday. Totally worth it. 5. The dressing room incident. It started as a simple shopping trip. Nothing scandalous, nothing planned. Just me tagging along while my girlfriend, Vanessa, browsed for a new dress. I should have known better. We were in one of those fancy boutique stores, the kind with velvet curtains and soft lighting. Vanessa had been teasing me the whole time. Subtle touches, whispered jokes, bending just right to check a price tag. By the time she grabbed a few outfits and headed to the dressing rooms, I was already struggling to keep it together. Then she sent me a text. "Come help me with this zipper." Winky face. I glanced around. The store was quiet, no one paying attention. My brain told me to behave, but my body, it was already moving. I slipped into her dressing room, closing the curtain behind me. She stood there in a tight, red dress, smirking. "Took you long enough." I barely had time to reply before she pulled me in. Hands, lips, heat. We completely forgot where we were. The thrill of getting caught made everything worse. Then, footsteps. A saleswoman's voice. "Ma'am, do you need another size?" We froze. I pressed against the wall, trying to breathe quietly. Vanessa cleared her throat, voice perfectly casual. "Nope, just deciding." The saleswoman hesitated, then walked away. Vanessa turned to me, eyes gleaming. "Think we have time to really test this dress?" I've never said yes so fast in my life. Sixth at the rooftop party incident. It was one of those summer nights, city lights, music blasting, drinks flowing. A rooftop party in the middle of downtown, packed with people looking for trouble. And I had already found mine. Her name was Sasha. We had been dancing all night, bodies pressed close, teasing each other with every touch. It was obvious where this was going, but neither of us wanted to be the first to say it. Then, she leaned in, lips brushing my ear. "Let's get some air." She led me away from the crowd, up a narrow stairwell to the actual rooftop. Just us, the skyline, and the hum of the party below. She turned to face me, back against the railing, and smirked. "You gonna make a move? Or are we just here to look at the view?" That was all the permission I needed. We crashed into each other, messy, desperate, all heat and hunger. The thrill of being right there, with the city stretched out below us, made it even more intense. Then, out of nowhere, a voice. "A guy's." I turned my head. One of my friends stood in the stairwell, holding a beer, looking both impressed and horrified. "Cool view, but maybe find somewhere less public." Sasha just laughed, completely unfazed. "Killjoy." She grabbed my hand, pulling me toward the exit. "Come on, let's find somewhere more private." That night, unforgettable. 7. The wedding reception incident. Weddings are supposed to be romantic, right? A time for love, celebration, and maybe a little too much champagne. But for me, it turned into something much more reckless. I was there as a +1 for my friend's sister's wedding. I barely knew anyone, except for Olivia, one of the bridesmaids. She was stunning, confident, and had been giving me looks all evening. The kind of looks that said, "This night isn't ending with just a slow dance." After a few drinks and some not-so-subtle flirting, she leaned in. "Meet me upstairs." I didn't need to be told twice. I slipped away from the crowded dance floor, making my way to the upper level of the venue. It was a large, historic estate with way too many empty rooms, perfect for what was about to happen. The second I stepped into the dimly lit hallway, Olivia grabbed my tie, pulling me into one of the empty rooms. We barely had time to shut the door before we were all over each other. Lips, hands, the whole forbidden wedding hookup fantasy in full swing. Then disaster. We heard voices, approaching voices. Someone trying to open the door. Panic. We scrambled, trying to fix our clothes as the door handle jiggled. "Why is this locked?" a voice said. Another voice laughed. "Maybe someone's getting lucky in there." Olivia bit her lip, holding back a giggle, and I was seconds away from having a heart attack. Thankfully, they moved on, leaving us breathless and laughing. "Guess we should be more careful," Olivia whispered. 8. The office Christmas party incident. Office Christmas parties are usually harmless. Some bad karaoke, awkward small talk, and a few too many drinks. But this one got messy. I had always had a thing for Claire, the sharp, no-nonsense co-worker who somehow made professionalism sexy. We flirted at work, but it never went beyond that, until that night. The drinks were flowing, the music was terrible, and everyone was just drunk enough to let loose. Claire and I ended up near the back of the party, talking, laughing, getting way too close for two people who were supposed to be just co-workers. Then, in the dim glow of holiday lights, she grabbed my tie and pulled me toward the supply closet. I barely had time to process before the door shut behind us. Coats, shelves, boxes, none of it mattered. We were on each other in seconds, hands moving, breaths heavy, the thrill of getting caught making it 10 times hotter. Then, the worst possible thing. The door opened. A very startled janitor stood there, holding a mop, blinking at the very obvious situation in front of him. We froze. Claire adjusted her dress, cleared her throat, and without missing a beat, said, "Oh, we were just looking for more paper." The janitor slowly nodded. "Right, paper." We left in a hurry, trying not to laugh. Best office party ever. 9. The backseat road trip incident. A road trip, a long drive, and a girlfriend who just couldn't wait until we reached the hotel. Lena and I had been driving for hours, stopping only for gas and snacks. The sun was setting, the roads were quiet, and the air was thick with the kind of tension that had been building since we started the trip. At some point, she leaned over, whispering something that sent a very clear message. "We should pull over." I laughed. "We're in the middle of nowhere." She smirked. "Exactly." I barely made it to a secluded side road before she was climbing in the back seat, giving me a look that made it very clear she meant business. What happened next? Let's just say that back seats weren't exactly built for this kind of activity, but that didn't stop us. Limbs tangled, windows fogging up, the car rocking in a way that would have made any passing driver very suspicious. Then headlights. Someone was pulling in. Panic set in as we scrambled to fix our clothes. I peeked out and saw a police car slowly rolling past, probably checking if we were broken down. Lena covered her mouth to hold back laughter. "Think they know?" Oh, they definitely knew. As soon as they drove off, she leaned back, grinning. "Maybe we should find a motel after all." Good idea. 10. The beach bonfire incident. It was one of those perfect summer nights. Warm breeze, ocean waves, and a group of friends drinking around a bonfire. But for me, the real heat was coming from Sophia. We had been flirting all night, stealing touches, exchanging looks that made it clear where things were heading. Finally, after way too many drinks and teasing, she leaned in. "Let's take a walk." We wandered down the shoreline, away from the fire, where the only light came from the moon and distant city glow. The second we were alone, she turned, pulling me into her. The ocean was our only witness. The sound of waves crashing masked everything else. Sand got everywhere, and I mean everywhere, but we didn't care. It was wild, reckless, the kind of thing you only do when you're young and stupid. Then, footsteps. I turned my head, just in time to see two of our friends walking toward us, clearly looking for us. We barely managed to fix ourselves before they got too close. "Hey, you guys good?" One of them asked, completely oblivious. Sophia, without missing a beat, smirked and said, "Yeah, just enjoying the view." I had to bite my tongue to keep from laughing. Later that night, back at the bonfire, she leaned in and whispered, "Round two later?" Like I was ever saying no. Yeah, that didn't stop us. Thanks for watching ADN, like and subscribe.